Hey guys, I have some big news. Guess who just won not one but two NAACP Image Awards? The ReidOut won for Best News and Information Series. Oh my God, big ups. So proud of the ReidOut team. Oh my God, we worked so hard on the show. So thank you to everybody who's been so supportive of the show, all the readers who watch it, everybody. Thank you. I'm so excited for the ReidOut team. But guess what else? Bookie, Baker and Murley won in the biography category. Oh my goodness. I am so proud and so excited about this award. This was such a labor of love. Like, this was written really for Miss Murley Evers Williams, and in, just dedication to Medgar Evers, who's made such a huge contribution to civil rights history, as did Miss Murley.
A few moments later.
MSNBC has canceled Joy Reid's 7 o'clock show, The ReidOut.
No!
As part of a major overhaul by the network's new regime. Reid, an unabashed liberal, mainstay, in fact, you could argue, and an emphatic Trump critic, will be replaced by a new show hosted by former Obama staffer and Bernie Sanders backer Simone Sanders Townsend, also former RNC chair Michael Steele, and Alicia Menendez, the daughter of disgraced New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez.
This lady spent her entire life struggling to divide people. I knew a day like this is coming. When you take a look at this, Joy ReidOut at MSNBC as part of Stony Network Shake Up. MSNBC is dramatically shaking up its lineup, and the shocking changes will result in the end of Joy Reid's decade-long tenure at the network. On Sunday, Variety and the New York Times reported that Reid's 7 p.m. weekend show, The ReidOut, is being cancelled and will air its final episode this week. Media has confirmed through a source familiar with the changes at MSNBC that Reid will be leaving the network completely as a result. She has been a host with MSNBC since 2014 and has piloted the Reid since 2020. We have seen what this lady has done. Every single day going after Trump, or she's struggling to raise bait. I was tired of it. Reason I took a decision at a certain point never to report videos concerning this.
And drive out the brown people and the black and Asian people, or just sink them into the same apartheid they've created in Texas. And they will control enough electoral votes if they can.
They want white supremacy by ventriloquist effect. There is a black mouth moving, but a white idea through the running on the runway of the tongue of a figure who justifies and legitimates the white supremacist practices.
Your thoughts, Byron Donalds, who walked out after Dixie was played in New York and has no shame there. They say he's going to be the governor of Florida now.
Yeah, every community has what I call their chickens for Colonel Sanders. Muslims had their halal chickens. The black community has their chickens. Byron Donalds is a grown-ass black man who referred to Donald Trump as his daddy. And what I want to tell the Byron Donalds, and every community's got a Donald. I got a Kash Patel. We got a Nimrata, we got a Haley. We all got them, all right? What I want to say is this. They'll never love you. They'll never love you. No matter what you do, they'll never love you. You can never wipe out that brown or black skin.
But, I feel like the important sort of data point, and Steve talks about it a lot. He's going to probably talk about it a little more tonight, is that these are white Christians. That this is a state that is overrepresented by white Christians that are going to participate in these caucuses, especially tonight. Earlier today, reached out to Robbie Jones, from the Public Religion Research Institute, knowing that we were going to talk about Iowa. And this is a hyper-evangelical white state. And he said the following to me. Iowa is about 61% white Christian. The country as a whole is approximately 41% white Christian. And in Iowa, we're talking about evangelical white Christians. And he said the following. Because I asked him, what do they get out of supporting Donald Trump? Because he keeps losing, he keeps delivering losses and losses. And he said the following. They see themselves as the rightful inheritors of this country, and Trump has promised to give it back to them. All the things that we think about electability, about, what are people gaming out, or none of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American, is a less a less real American, then you don't care about electability. You care about what God has given. But Republican voters don't vote that way. They don't vote based on economics or based on the benefits they're getting economically from the president. They're increasingly, from the Tea Party on, they're voting on race. They're voting on this idea of an invasion of brown people over the border. The idea that they can't get whatever job they want. A black person got it, therefore drive all the blacks out of the colleges, get rid of DEI. That is what they're voting on. They're just voting specifically on racial animus. At this stage, it isn't about economics.
No.
Returning white Christian men, but also white men and white adjacent men, you know, black men, brown men who are like white adjacent in terms of trying to also be in that dominant position in society. And then you have women who are willing to go along with that, right? There are a certain number of women who are also willing, the trad wife sort of thing. And so what you've seen on this.
No, absolutely. I'm sure the doctors are exhausted. And, you know, Jason, there is a term called necropolitics, which is essentially the politics of who gets to live and who gets to die. And these states, what they have in common is that they have structures which say that black and brown lives matter less. And so all that matters is that the black and brown people get their behinds into the factory and make me my steaks, make me my stuff, get there and do my nails, work, get back to work now and do the things that I, the comfortable, affluent person, need. Isn't that what we're seeing? I mean, that's what it feels like to me, necropolitics in states like Texas.
Oh. Have you watched MSNBC lately? Likely you haven't. Like the Tootsies, you're not the target audience, but you should tune in sometime. It's remarkable. Given that opposing racism is America's national religion, it may surprise you to learn that open race hate forms much of the substance of that channel's programming. And when we say race hate, we're not referring to the subtle coded variety. You want border security? You're giving your kids piano lessons? You like Shakespeare? You believe in the SAT? You must be a racist. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the kind of race hate you cannot mistake for anything else.
When you take a look at this, MSNBC is turning to one of its most liberal shows to fill the vacancy left by real Simon Sanders. The host of MSNBC Saturday and Sunday morning show, The Weekend, will take over the 7 p.m. I understand that people don't actually even watch this. The main reason this lady is fired is simply because people are not interested in what she is saying any longer. Since Trump came in, their ratings are tanking and they are seeing it. They are paying this lady a high amount of money for nothing. To be spewing this nonsense every single day. I said on one of my videos, there is coming a day she will be having no show again. It has happened. When you watch this lady, I believe you've seen this compilation of videos where she spent her entire life. It's either she's struggling to divide people, or she is going after Trump. I saw that every single day. When I see this lady's video, I always skip because it will get you irritated at a certain point. It's crazy. If you are having a show, it should be to pass out information to people. Not every time. It was just a normal thing to join real. It's either she's ranting on TikTok or she's doing this. There are things she could no longer say on that show. She now went on TikTok to be spewing that every day. And I'm glad that this is happening. I went on X. I realized people are celebrating like it's a national day. That is to tell you the extent at which people don't like this woman. I'm not refusing that it should not be, you should criticize people, but don't make it like that's part of you. She was no longer doing it like a show. She was just now spewing out the hate in her. That is what this lady was doing, and it was insane.
But MSNBC has a new host, someone called Tiffany Cross, who hosts a show called The Cross Connection. Here's a selection.
Many of us have seen the dangers when powerful white people decide they want something, they annex it. And they've never had a problem replacing the people who stand in their way.
We see American white people are going crazy. They're resorting to violence.
This is literally what conservative white folks do when they don't get their way. They turn violent.
White people deputizing themselves in some position of authority to have jurisdiction over their life when they need to mind their blanking business.
I don't think it's our responsibility to be tasked with destroying and dismantling the
racial oppression that's against us. That's just saying we're more at fault than the white people who constructed this system and the white people who continue to practice institutional racism.
Yes, Megyn Kelly replied during a show which were dedicated to nothing more than stirring or racial division in the country has thankfully been cancelled. Yes, she is, with a guest talking about how black people won't follow Democrat orthodoxy and think for themselves are puppet. Megyn Kelly did not stop there. This is another tweet. Remember when Joy Ryu read, "Laughingly mock white people tears as pathetic and offensive to her, who is crying now, Joy. Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on MSNBC for letting it go on this long." Yeah, she could have been fired ever since. Thank you guys for always been sharing out my videos. If you see clips after this, that is for algorithm.
We're supposed to trust them with millions of dollars.
Justification, she was asked this week.
There was a meeting behind closed doors a short time ago between the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass,
departments. When I talked about it, from the city, from the county.
You know, I mean, I don't know how many sets she visited, but everybody was like, you know, and you know, you get, when the closer you get to the actual set where the shooting is, and then that red zone.
And he did this little dance, like, I've been talking with these, you know, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We got some ideas, or speculate. We're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's doing
really?
This. Oh, show it to him, Jamie. It's so creepy.
Around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward.
Never in California questioned whether or not we as taxpayers in the largest state in the union should support the people of Louisiana at a time of emergency and need. We never condition it.
These people don't actually care. They're not actually trying to find a solution.
If you don't know, Karen Bass is a goner. She's gone. There's no chance of re-election.
The city will only purchase from vendors that support DEI, said the.
I remember when we had a fire when Trump was president, and he came in and he said, "You don't rake. You're not raking." And I did. We all did jokes about it.
Somebody in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning, and you know, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need.
He's been trained.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel.
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today,
tyranny is rising in the White House.
You are a slave.